Hello, Tomi. Welcome to Queens.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
It's so good to have you here. So, who are you?
Oh, okay. Where do I start? Okay. I'm Tomi. My name is Tomi Akingbade, and I am a neuroscientist. That's kind of the first thing that everyone needs to know about me. I love the brain. I love studying the brain. I'm a European-born Nigerian. So my parents are from Nigeria, and they came here over to Europe when I was young. Moved around a lot, originally from kind of outer skirts London, and yeah, that's pretty much me. Not too much to tell.
And what about your educational journey?
Educational journey. So I went to a school in outer East London, typical state school. Very, we had all those issues that all state schools have. And then I went to sixth form, really enjoyed sixth form, went to university. I went to University of North England, that's where I did my undergrad. And then I graduated with a master's in neuroscience. And I really wanted to do a PhD, but I couldn't find funding. So for 2 years, kind of dipped in and out of work, worked for the NHS, worked at different universities, and then eventually I ended up here.
I'm always impressed that you, instead of just staying home during the pandemic, you volunteered, you helped the NHS in the battle against COVID. Tell us a little bit about that.
I would say, okay, I have to be quite honest, it wasn't completely intentional. I joined the NHS in February, and I mean, we were kind of in the pandemic, the UK wasn't ready to admit it at that point, but when we announced lockdown in March, I was like, well, time to get the hours in and kind of do overtime. And the experience, it was life-changing. I say it was life-changing. You get to see the world, I guess, from 2 points. You see the kind of the science behind forming a new lab, fighting a pandemic in the labs, and then you get the real life of calling my family and be like, make sure you're wearing masks, make sure you get your toilet roll, and all that kind of thing.
And you went a long time without seeing your family.
I did. So I'd moved away from home to work for the NHS, and I think I didn't see my family for about 9 months during the pandemic. Even though they were an hour and a half away, it wasn't safe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. Now, exciting, you're one of our first 3 Alexander Crummell Scholars.
Yes, I'm excited about this as well.
So what does that scholarship mean to you?
Well, I think it's very difficult to put into words, if I'm being completely honest. Like I said, it was 2 years of me trying to find a PhD. So throughout that time, I was applying for PhDs and trying to apply. And there were a lot of half yeses, and then there was no funding, so I couldn't do it. And it being non-funded just wasn't an option for the way that my life is set up. It wasn't an option. So the scholarship has given me an opportunity to do what I love. Like I said, neuroscience is the first thing that comes out of my mouth when I say that. So the scholarship has given me the opportunity to do what I love, which is study neuroscience, and not have to worry about working full-time while doing a PhD full-time, or I can pay my bills and study at the same time and kind of just focus on doing what I like.
That's wonderful. Now, it's a new initiative,
Mm-hmm.
and Queen's trying to move really quickly. How did we get to you? How did you hear about it?
Well, I was very lucky in that I was I mean, like I said, 2 years of not having a PhD, so I became very vocal about how frustrated I was about not having funding or not having opportunities. And I would just tell everyone I met. So I was working in a lab, and I would just say, guys, I want to do a PhD. Unfortunately, there was no funding there. I kept just social media, complaining on social media, emailing around, and I actually found a lab at Cambridge in which I really liked the work they were doing, and I asked and I said, I really, really want to work on the projects that you're working on. Is there any way I can come? And the professor who I contacted was really, really nice and said, yes, you can. Unfortunately, there wasn't funding. So again, dream was crushed, but then he emailed me back a month later and was like, the Alexander Crummell Scholarship has just gone live, do you want to apply it? And obviously I ran at the chance. And, yeah.
And what was it like when you saw Queen's for the first time?
Queen's is a movie. It's a movie. I've never been into a Cambridge college before. So it basically is what you see in the movies. It is, you walk in, it's almost, you think you're on a movie set because you walk in and everyone's like, hi, and you're like, am I the main character? But it's great. Everyone's really welcoming. It's honestly, it's been a great place to be, if I'm being honest, yeah.
So we pride ourselves on being friendly, inclusive, diverse, and trying to provide opportunities to students to go further in their education, not just as an end in itself, but as a means of broader transformation.
Yeah.
Are we kidding ourselves, or was there a good case for that?
No, 100%. I've been here a month, and already people have asked me, what are you doing after your PhD? What do you want to do during your PhD? And it's amazing to kind of be in a place where people are so invested in my success, and just me doing what makes me happy and kind of it's really opened my eyes to the opportunities, like things are possible, and that there are different ways to get about it. And if everyone wants to talk to you, just figure out how they can help you, then you also want to figure out how you can help them. It's kind of like it's a weird family in a weird way. No one's related, but we're all kind of like a family.
Well, we think of ourselves as friends. So what do you tell people when they ask you, what are you going to do after your PhD?
I thought I knew, but I've learned so much in this month that I don't know anymore. There's like 100 different things. I'm like, oh, I could do this, I could do this. So I don't know. I kind of know I want to, again, neuroscience, that's just who I am, isn't the field I want to be in. But in which direction, I don't know. Like the options seem endless almost now. Before it was very one track for me, and it was the traditional basis. But now I'm just like, there's opportunities.
So you, as I said, you're one of three. We've been incredibly lucky that because of the generosity and response of our donors, we've been able to fund 17 of these in the first year.
Yeah.
So what do you say to the other 14? We're going to roll it out fully this year now. We rushed to get you on board and get two others on board, but now that we have more time, we're going to roll it out fully. What do you say to people?
People who want to apply?
Yeah, what people want to apply.
I would say do it. Do it. Like, there's no reason why not. I think take that chance. I mean, a lot of people, when you're applying for funding like this, you may have faced a lot of rejection in the past, and it's scary, and you do get quite frustrated. But do it and ask the questions that you need to ask. I mean, the application process for me was very individual. I got to ask a lot of questions. Again, it was new, so I did have a lot of questions, and they were all answered. And if there wasn't an answer, someone found someone who knew the answer and apply. And if you're scared to apply, just ask yourself why. Reach out and just ask us questions.
And how do we overcome the notion that somehow Cambridge isn't for everybody?
Oh, I think things like this, people like me existing in Cambridge and telling you that I'm fairly happy here, like I'm enjoying it. It's been a month and I'm optimistic. And I think is as well, history is long, history is very, very long, and it's been, hundreds of years of what seems like a negative history. But I think these scholarships are kind of a way to say that it's progressive, we're moving forward, and we're not just accepting the norms, things are changing.
Anything I should have asked you that I didn't ask you that people should know about you, about the scholarships?
Once they get here, they can ask me all the questions they want.
Well, we are absolutely delighted to have you as part of our community, and we are invested in your success. We are very keen on supporting you and all our students in whatever way we can, because ultimately we know that you will go and change the world, and we just want to equip you with all the tools to do stuff. So thank you for being with us.
No, thank you for having me.